This is Title 18, Word Crimes. I'm Erik Arneson. For this episode, I interviewed author Andrew Nette, who is also one of the founders of Crime Factory Publications, at NoirCon 2014, a great convention that took place in Philadelphia. Our discussion focused mostly on Andrew's work with Crime Factory, which is headquartered in Melbourne, Australia. But Andrew has also written a novel, Ghost Country, which is a crime story set in Cambodia in the mid-1990s. Ghost Country is available now from Snubnose Press. Andrew's short stories have appeared in Beat to a Pulp, Hard Boiled 3, Shotgun Honey Presents Both Barrels Volume 1, Blood and Tacos, and many other places. He's also an accomplished nonfiction writer. Here's my interview with Andrew Nette. We're here at NoirCon 2014 in Philadelphia, talking to the gentleman who's probably almost certainly traveled the furthest to get here, Andrew Nette, who is an editor with Crime Factory magazine. How are you enjoying the conference so far? And tell our listeners where you started your journey.
Spent a few days in New York, mainly Manhattan. Then I've just got to Philadelphia. Look, I'm loving it. It's fantastic. It's great to go to a conference, a crime fiction conference. I'm not sure if this will come across the right way. For once, it's great to not have to be inclusive about different sort of subgenres. It's just noir. People talking about noir poetry, fiction, film. It's really great. We don't have anything like it in Australia. It's also great to meet a heap of people who I've been sort of interacting with on social media for several years now, including yourself, Erik. It's great to meet them in the flesh.
And Crime Factory is an outstanding magazine, a combination of fiction and nonfiction. On the fiction side of things, would you say that the magazine, would you describe it as having a sort of noir sensibility?
Oh, very much so. I mean, we have a predilection at Crime Factory for hard-boiled pulp and noir crime fiction. Having said that, we'll do speculative stuff. It's mainly crime, but we've also taken a bit of sci-fi and horror. If it's good and it's not a cozy, we'll usually have a look at it.
How many people are involved in producing Crime Factory?
Well, I have to sort of... There's actually... Crime Factory as the magazine. There's four of us involved. There's myself, there's Liam, Jose, and Cameron Ashley, who's the editor-in-chief, and we all live in Melbourne. And there's a guy called Jimmy Calloway who helps edit our fiction, who lives in California. Myself, Cameron, and Liam have also spun off a sort of publishing company, called Crime Factory Publications. We've done about four anthologies and 3 novellas. And that's just myself, Cameron and Liam.
And so it's clearly a full-time job for all of you, and you're bringing in loads of money.
Oh, look, it's absolutely. I mean, we've got the headquarters in the 10-story tower. I mean, the whole thing. No, it's crime. It's basically a breaking even. As long we do it because we love it. We love the community. We love crime fiction. As long as we're breaking even, we're happy. And so far, we have broken even.
Can you talk a little bit about some of the anthologies that you've put together through the book publishing end of the operation?
We did a terrific little anthology called Hard Labour, which was an anthology of Australian noir crime writing, which was very good. My favourite anthology is one we did a couple of years ago, not our best-selling book, but it was really good, called Lee. And it's a book of about 20 short stories based on the life of Lee Marvin.
A fascinating theme for a magazine. What was it about Lee Marvin that drew you to, or for an anthology, what was it about Lee Marvin that drew you to do that?
Myself and Cam were huge Lee Marvin fans. I suppose we love his films. We love the way that Marvin embodies a sort of flawed version of masculinity. He's a really interesting guy, actually, Marvin. I mean, basically highly functioning alcoholic. He had very significant post-traumatic stress syndrome from his time in the Pacific. Interesting to speculate that if he hadn't become a film star, what he would have done. Anyway, Cam and I were at a bar one night and we were talking about, wouldn't it be great to do an anthology based on the life of Lee Marvin? I think Cam told a friend in an email about it, and by the end of the day we had 10 stories. 10 people had committed stories to us. And it was a kind of interesting, it was an anthology. It really worked pretty much. Virtually every single person who did a story kind of nailed it. And so and it also works as an unofficial biography of Lee Marvin. Lee Marvin died. He never had, there's a couple of, autobiography, I should say, isn't it? There's a couple of bios written about him, including one quite recently by a guy called Dwayne Epstein, which is quite good. But he never wrote an autobiography, so ours is as good a start to any of that.
And with Hard Labor, you mentioned it was Australian writers, Australian focus. Can you talk a little bit about the crime fiction scene in Australia? Some of the top writers right now, and those you enjoy the most. I'm most interested in.
Oh, right. It's an interesting look. It's a diverse scene, like it is here. I think it's a scene that probably mitigates more towards a cozier, more procedural-based crime. Not a lot of people writing sort of more hard-boiled noir fiction. Various reasons why that is. Who do I like? I like Lee Redhead, although she hasn't written for a while now, but she's great. Gary Dish is good. There's some terrific stuff happening in WA, where there's a big mining boom at the moment, and that's caused all kinds of quite significant social problems and changes in Western Australia. And some of the West Australian writers like Alan Carter, David Wish-Wilson, they're doing some really terrific stuff on that. Yeah, there's some great stuff.
Very good. Hey, thank you very much for spending a few minutes with me here. And when my wife and I get down to Melbourne, we're going to hit you up to point us to the best bar.
Oh, we'll take you out to dinner, Eric, of course.
That was Andrew Nette talking about Crime Factory. You can learn more about Andrew, Crime Factory, Andrew's fiction, and his nonfiction at his website, pulpcurry.com. That's pulp, CURRY.com. Andrew's also active on Twitter and Facebook, so you can find him there. That does it for this episode of Title 18, Word Crimes. Thanks for listening. Don't forget to subscribe on iTunes or Stitcher. Scott Detrow, my partner in Word Crimes, will return soon to read short stories from the likes of David Cranmer, Johnny Shaw, and many more. We're also going to have a few special episodes coming up where authors read their own fiction, recorded live at a Noir at the Bar event in Philadelphia and during the NoirCon convention. You can find me at erikarneson.com, ErikArneson.com. I'm also at Erik Arneson on Twitter and easy to find on Facebook. Every episode of the Word Crimes podcast is archived at erikarneson.com. Check out the page for this episode to find links to Andrew Nette's website and much more. The music on this episode is by The Throws. You can find them at The Throws, THROES, thethrows.com. Thanks again for listening to Title 18 Word Crimes. We'll be back soon.